2v2 Splitgate rank system gameplay tips that are going to bring your game to that next level. Ladies and gents, my name is Xander, aka Diaside, and this video it's all about fantastic tips in 2v2. As you very well know, that brand new playlist that's ranked has just come out, and so what we're going to really analyze is some phenomenal examples showing 3 key things to success in this game mode, and that is map control, rotations, and spawn predictions. Now don't worry, we're going to get into all that jazz in just a few seconds, as well as some information on the ELO ranked system for bronze, silver, gold, etc, and how that's then going to function for your ranked matches. And so without any further ado, the only thing left to do is just to simply sit back, relax, grab that Mountain Dew, and eviscerate that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's jump right into the video. Now before we go any further, especially in regards to 2v2 matches, what you gotta understand in regards to all these ranked playlists, the 2v2, 3v3, and 4v4, is that they all have the same fundamentals of bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, master, and champion levels. What exactly do I mean by this? Well, as you guys can see from right there, these are all the levels associated with ELO, and the way in which you get ELO is by ranking, or rather playing 5 matches in these playlists, and then it's going to take all those stats into account, like kills, death, KD ratio, assists, damage, wins, losses, all those kinds of things, and then give you a rating, rather an ELO, that's then going to rank you in one of these playlists. As you win or lose matches, you're then going to earn or lose ELO associated with each. And to be more exact, I'm not really sure as to how this is really functioning in terms of a foundation, meaning that of course if you win and lose, you're going to gain rank, but as to how that's then determined, whether you need a lot of kills, whether that's taking into account win streaks, I really don't know how actual individual ELO is distributed, but just know that's the overall general principle. Now that we got that under our belt, the next thing that you really gotta understand is to how these 2v2 matches function. And the best way in which I can describe this is that unlike 3v3 and 4v4, there's of course 2 more players less in this regard and you only have 1 teammate. This then focuses on then game modes like Team Deathmatch and King of the Hill, but it's a little bit more intense than that because you have to have what I like to call team shot state of flow. Have you ever been in the zone where you just know that you're going to land all your shots, where you're just going to be absolutely dominant in that game and you're having absolutely whatever decision that you make go in your favor? That's flow in general. And what I mean by this then is that team shot state of flow is the exact same thing, but it's almost as if you and your teammate are on the exact same wavelength. You gotta be making the same decisions, or rather knowing what each other is going to do before that actually happens, and you have to do this sometimes with a teammate that you know, or rather a complete random. It can kind of be difficult to achieve, but trust me, once you get it, you're gonna know that you got it, and the best 3 things that I can give you, or rather tips that then's going to help this occur, is rather map control, rotations, and spawn predictions. In Team Deathmatch, maybe map control is just getting to the power weapons as fast as possible, and then you can control how the game is then going to be played, at least within the first initial engagements. Inversely to this though is King of the Hill, and maybe in that sense, map control is then maintain obviously the hill, and then being able to rotate. The second thing that's key to the success of flow is then going to the next control point, or rather the King of the Hill position. Inversely to this though, rotations in Team Deathmatch might actually mean something entirely different, because there's actually no objective to actually maintain that map control. And so instead what you gotta do is that once you gain the power weapons, maybe you gotta rotate with your teammate around the map in a particular counterclockwise or clockwise position. Maybe you gotta then be able to predict exactly where the enemy team's then gonna be when they spawn up, aka my third point, and that is spawn predictions. That last one is probably gonna be the trickiest thing, because sometimes you have your teammate dead and you're still alive, but both the enemy teams are dead, and so you don't know exactly where they're gonna be. You get the point that I'm making, and so as long as you're anticipating without hesitating, aka the anticipation without hesitation mindset, I'm telling you 110% that the spawn prediction element is going to be a piece of cake, and the best way in which I can describe this to you is rather showing you 3 examples. In this very first example, we're playing King of the Hill, and I see that my teammate has got a little bit of damage in this guy, and thus we take the map control overall. This guy comes out of nowhere, boom, get him. As soon as I know that I'm a little bit one-shot, which I clearly am, I gotta regen my health, look for the next player, see where my teammate's coming from, they give me that great call to kill that guy. I look around, I get shot from behind, he puts damage on him, I finish him off. Once again, we're rotating, not too close, and you finally get the last guy. Bada bing, bada boom, piece of cake. As I rewind that one more time and play it again, I'm going to break it down a little bit more into what actually occurred. Number 1, the map control was obviously containing the King of the Hill position, and what my teammate Mock Flux and I were doing is we were being close enough to the point where one of us was actually on the control point, while the other one was giving us some support from the other positions around the map. And a couple of those engagements, you saw that I was just cleaning up because he had already damaged them, and so it was easy for me to get that next kill. The key to this strategy though in getting more team shots is number 1, being close and yet not too far away to the point where we can't get the team shots. If we're too far away, I'll be by myself, he'll be by himself, and that's no bueno. You don't want that, I don't want that, nobody wants that, and so you get the point I'm making. Lastly, we were rotating around the hill the entire time. We weren't spending more than maybe a half second or a second actually in one position around the hill, and we were constantly going around the hill the entire time while still maintaining the points by staying inside the hill, making it that much harder for enemy players to predict where we're going to be. And seeing that first example, you now kind of understand the first two things that I mentioned, the map control and the rotations. But once again, this was kind of designed for rather king of the hill. But what about something like, say, Team Deathmatch? How is that going to function? Well, the next example is exactly this, and as you guys can tell from right here, I've just spawned up at the very beginning of the match, and we go towards the power weapon, aka the sniper. I pick it up myself, and once I have it, I look down the hall, boom, get that guy first kill. Now we go to the top of the map, try and get more of the map control as a whole. See that these guys aren't here in this corner. I'm like, alright, well, maybe they're at the cubby. I check out the cubby, I see him down below, get him, pick him off, no problem. The next time that we're looking for these guys, we're looking, okay, I see my teammate up there, I'm going to go to the left. We see the next guy, he keeps him distracted, and I get the headshot, and that guy just got obliterated by Exodia, sent to the Shadow Realm. Ciao, bye-bye. As I rewind this engagement one more time, there's a couple of things I want you to take away from this. Right off the bat, we're playing Team Deathmatch, and that means that we gotta get the map control, and in this case, that's the power weapons. On this particular map, that's the sniper, and so for the sniper, we gotta get that, and we got that piece of cake. After we had it, we use it to our best advantage to then ensue how the rest of the map, or rather the first couple of engagements, was then going to incur. Simultaneously, what were we doing? We were rotating around the entire map. We never stayed in one position at more than maybe say 2 seconds or so, then we went to the next position and did it over and over again. And seeing the second example, you can really tell that from the first and the second, they're different and yet similar in that they both pertain to number 1, map control, and number 2, rotations. Now this third example, that's the one that we haven't covered yet, and it's probably the hardest one to get, aka spawn predictions. Now I won't lie, this comes with overall practice, as the more that you play the game and the more that you play the game mode, you're going to get better and better and better on specific maps. Maybe the map's very large and it's kind of hard to do this, but on smaller maps like this one, aka the third example, it's not, and you can see this from right here. As we see this engagement, I'm once again by the cubby, and I see a guy trying to teleport towards me. I get him the best that I can, his buddy follows him, I miss my first melee, get a couple of shots, land the second one, and that's the double kill. After this, I'm looking for the next spawn, and sure enough, they're at the main bottom cube. I see one guy, I try and teleport down there, I get a couple of shots, finish him off, spin to the next guy, and that's the overall engagement. As I rewind this and put on play one more time, you're gonna understand that after I happened to get that first double kill with the team shots from Mach, what happened then next is that I took into account the position in which I was currently in, looked and saw that there was approximately 3 or 4 quadrants of this map that they could then spawn in. They're not going to spawn closest to me, and rather they're going to spawn at the furthest point away from me, and that's of course on the other side of the map where that cube actually was underneath. Knowing this, I took my best guess into account, went towards that direction, and then made the appropriate play to get the next 2 players. This process can be repeated over and over and over again, and in games like Team Deathmatch, when you take out both players, it's going to help you out tremendously, getting not just these double kills, but also getting team shots and pretty much controlling the entire flow of the match, just like in Hunger Games, ever in your favor. And seeing this third example, I hope that you now really understand what it takes to win these 2v2 matches. You can control the entire flow of the match if you do number 1, map control, number 2, rotations, and number 3, spawn predictions. Of course, if you're playing with a teammate that you actually know in the party chat, that's going to make this 10 times easier, but sometimes you might go into the solo, happen to have a random teammate with you, may not be able to go ahead and actually talk to that person at all, and rather you gotta pay attention to what your teammate's doing and also make the appropriate plays accordingly. Is that going to be harder to do? Of course, as it's one more person that you then gotta think about to make the appropriate action from your personal character and your personal playstyle. But can it be done? Yes. I'm telling you, if you went against that master rank, there is no doubt in my mind that if I can do it, you can certainly do it just the same. And so having said all this fluff chemistry shenanigans, let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment section below. Do you happen to have some different ones in regards to maybe something that I'm not covering? If so, by all means, let me know, because I definitely want to improve my game just the same way that you want to improve your game, and if we can help each other, it's a win-win. No matter what you guys say, you always know that I'm going to respect your opinions, and that is something that I can guarantee. That's much all I've got for you as of right now, Dia Slayers, and so as always, GG, TNT.